Hey everybody, this is Brandon and you are watching Just a Guy Loving Life. Now on this show we meet people that have cool skills, neat hobbies, and awesome collections. Speaking of awesome collections, today we're going to meet a guy that collects gumball machines. What's a gumball machine? Ask a know-it-all.
It's a gumball machine. There's not much to know about it.
Now that we know a little more about it, it's time to go meet Mr. Bill. So let's hit the road.
Hit the road!
Hey everybody, this is Brandon and I am Just a Guy Loving Life. And today I'm here with my good buddy, you've met him before. This is Coach Dixon, Bill Dixon. He collects gumball machines. Now Coach, I really would love to hear about your gumball machine. So why don't you tell everybody at home about your collection?
This is what I would call an accidental collection. I did not set out to collect gumball machines, but I always had a fascination with gumball machines from a kid, from going to the barbershop, going into different places, and you see that gumball machine, and it was like I had to go put some money in it if I had it or something. And most of them were penny machines, at the most a nickel or something. But as I got older, I got a machine. I'll show you in a minute which one was my first one, and then how it just one thing leads to another. It's not an addiction, but it's obviously something that you just enjoy doing.
Now when we got here, I right off of the bat asked you which one is the oldest that you have. And this is what you pulled out. Tell us about this.
Well, this is, it's called a master. This was built, I can't tell the exact date, but the earliest it could be is 1923. So it's within 5 years of being 100 years old. And these were all over the place back in the day and stuff. But they're kind of hard to find, not because they don't exist, but because the materials they made out of this is pot metal and things like this. It tended to break a lot easier than some of the modern alloys are, but I was able to get to this one and I latched onto it.
Now, what is the first gumball machine that you ever collected?
Well, I said earlier, I'd tell you about my first one. This was my first one. I acquired this back in the 70s, but the machine itself was probably made in the 50s. It's called an oak. It's very common. You can still find them today, a lot of different places. I've seen some very reasonable prices. I've seen some really crazy prices on there and stuff, but obviously it's glass, but it's very sturdy. It holds up well to traffic and stuff. Now, this is a penny machine, and this was, like I say, quite common, but I like I say, it probably came from the 50s, early 60s, but I was able to acquire it in the late 70s.
Okay, now some of these are still operational today.
Yes.
I remember when I was a kid, this is the one we used to beg our parents for the penny to get the gun
Absolutely.
out of. They were at every store, you could find them everywhere, and some of them I think you can still find them now.
You can, they're harder to find, and probably the biggest change is they don't charge pennies anymore. Everything goes to nickels, dimes, and mostly quarters, but that's just an economic thing.
I'm looking at something right here. I gotta ask you, this to me is really cool. Would you say that this one is one of your favorites?
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. It's one of the cool things, it's made of wood. You know that would not work real well today, not because the wood wouldn't work, but it'd be too easy to break into. But what I liked about this, I got this one and didn't even pay that much money for it, but I had kind of reconditioned it, But the neat thing is I know the history. This one was from the late 40s, early 50s, and it's called a Victor Baby Grand. I don't know why they call it Baby Grand.
Sounds like a piano.
Yeah, it does. But the neat thing is, I know for a fact that this was on a route in Galveston back in the 50s and probably early 60s. If you look close, you see cigarette burns on there where somebody laid a cigarette at some point on there. And the only thing I had to replace was the glass on the front. but it's just kind of sentimentally one of my favorites.
Can I ask you, you said on a route. What do you mean when you say a gumball machine is on a route?
Well, back then you had a vending route. If somebody owned, say, 50, 60 machines, they would put them in different places. And about once a week, they'd make the rounds, they'd collect the money, refill the gum or candy or whatever was in it. And so it was on a particular guy's route. And when I bought this one, there was probably about 10 or 12 more of these, but this one was in probably the best working shape, and was able to recondition it.
So it's not necessarily always gum in a gumball machine, right?
No, it's not.
I noticed this one's got jelly bellies in it. Tell us about that.
This machine here is called a Silver King. It's I don't know, it's just one of my favorites. It's from the 50s also. The only thing is I don't have the flap that goes on there. The flap got it gone, and if you got one, let me know. But I put jelly bellies in there because I like them. But a lot of times they would have things like peanuts or different things. The vending wheel at the bottom generally determines what you're vending. Sometimes if it's like most of these gum machines, it's going to be round, and some of these have like a little pie-shaped thing where you can get some different.
Can you explain a little more about what a vending wheel actually is?
Yeah, the vending wheel is the one that sits down there, and right now on all these machines, the vending wheel is full except for one. One's empty because it's the one that just vended. So whenever you put the money in, you crank it, it rotates, drops the stuff in there, and the other one.
That's how the gum comes down the little slide, right?
Yeah, and that's why sometimes they get gummed up. You gotta watch that.
All right, Coach, I've got to say something. This to me looks different from the other ones. I don't see gum in here at all. What is this?
It's got gum in there. This is called tab gum. It has the little packets. And what you could do, you could rotate this and they could have different types of gum, whether you want spearmint, juicy fruit, peppermint, whatever kind you want.
So this is like the sticks of chewing gum?
It's like the little pillows.
Okay, cool.
There's like 2 of them in each box. And the story why I got this is because my wife liked it, because she had memories when her and her dad would go out, and she would go, and she said she'd spend 15 minutes going around trying to decide, and he'd have to say, honey, go ahead and pick something out, whichever one you want.
Sure, it seems like most collections start out of some sort of memories as a kid.
Absolutely. Nostalgia, just
nostalgia,
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now these aren't the only gumball machines that you own, are they?
No, I've got several others, and some of them are quite ordinary, and some are kind of cool in different ways. And like I said, my little house back there, I've got several that are in pieces, stuff like this. But these others are intact.
Well, what do you say we take a look at a few more?
Okay, that'd be great.
Thank you so much, Coach, for showing off your gumball machines. This is Coach Dixon and his Gumball Machine collection. Thank you so much, Mr. Dixon, for letting us check out your collection. That's all we have for this week, so we'll see you right here next week on Just a Guy Loving Life.